So, welcome to our bi-weekly Eastside Rap meeting, where we discuss impacts of homelessness on the east side of Santa Barbara. My name is Landon. I work with SB Act, and this is a partnership with the city of Santa Barbara as part of a broader South County coalition to address homelessness. Um, and I just wanted to start with a few things. We talk about this every once in a while on these calls, but just a reminder that on these calls, we're trying to, as much as we can, use people first language, talking about people experiencing homelessness rather than homeless people, because they're people first. Um, we're all people first. Um, the distinction between homeless and houseless, still the majority, from what we're gathering, the majority of people experiencing homelessness in our community are from Santa Barbara County. And so for many of them, this is their home. It's just that they're currently without a house, but we still use that phrase homeless. It's just something to be aware of. Um, for mental health and substance use, this has come up a lot recently, and we'll talk a little bit about how to respond. But just want to remind everybody that it's sometimes it's more often an effect of homelessness rather than a cause, but it's definitely not everyone's experience of homelessness. So just important to remember that there is not one monolith experience of homelessness as we're talking about this. And since the mental health has come up recently, not just on this call, but on a couple of other calls we've had and conversations, just community members interacting with people in some pretty bad state. We just want to remind everybody of a couple really simple tips. I think most of you on the call know this. This may be more for people that are watching the recording later, but just encourage you that if you see an individual who's agitated, I would encourage you not to engage unless you're a trained professional. Don't make eye contact. Don't try to walk up. Definitely encourage you not to touch someone. But we would encourage you to call it in. If it's a non-emergency behavioral health concern, you can call the behavioral wellness access line. But if it is an emergency or it presents a threat to the individual or others, then definitely you want to call 911. Um, and just make mention that you think it might be related to mental health or substance use, because that way they may be able to send a co-response team. So I just want to throw this out because it does come up from time to time, and we want everybody to stay safe out there and all that they're doing. Um, so we have quite a bit on the calendar coming up. I'm actually just going to go through the slides first, and then we'll come back to this. Just a reminder, I mentioned this last meeting, but this East Side Wrap is a part of a broader South County effort to address homelessness. And so we've got a lot of partners, including the cities of Goleta and Carpinteria and all these homeless agencies, business partners, people experiencing homelessness who've helped us kind of craft a 3-year strategic plan. And so we are going to be launching that plan on Monday, and we're very excited about it. If you're interested to learn more, just come out to the Faulkner Gallery Monday at noon. And we'll be having an event where we're going to be sharing our 3-year goals to try to address homelessness throughout the whole South County region. I'll put that RSVP link in the chat window, but hope to see some of you there. And then I'll turn it to Herschel.
Good morning, everyone. Just a shout out to a community cleanup again this month on the 27th from 1 to 2:30. There's a QR code, so please join if you can and popularize as far as you can. Thank you, Landon, for putting it on this morning.
Thanks, Herschel. So yeah, quite a bit on the calendar. Just today, also, for those of you who are available at 2 p.m., we're going to do a neighborhood walk on Chapala Street. We're going to meet at the Faro Center, 621 Chapala Street, but we're actually going to go up a block to the 700 block of Chapala. And on these walks, we usually walk in, talk to businesses, ask them about local homelessness issues, and also just try to engage the people that we see in that neighborhood that are experiencing homelessness. So I encourage you to join us if you're available today at 2. And then again, Monday at noon is the launch. And then our next Eastside Rap meeting will be on the 21st. And then before we get into our regular conversation, I just wanted to note we've had the warming centers activated a couple nights this week. And so I don't know, I know this is separate from the PATH inclement weather beds, but I don't know, Herschel, if you want to share any updates from PATH about this week and the wet weather.
Yeah, we've had for the last month the 2 sessions of lots of rain, but this most recent one, we had 19 people And we opened for 2 days because the weather was early in the morning, it started raining. So great experience and lovely to make a contribution. And next week, it seems there's more rain, so we will have rain beds available again.
Thank you, Herschel. Yeah, we're anticipating it's looking like Monday through maybe Thursday, but we'll see. If you're not already subscribed to the Warming Center emails, we encourage you to use that link down at the bottom or the subscribe by emailing them so that you can find out when they're going to be activated. All right, so that's all I have for announcements today. So at this point, we usually go to community to ask if there's any concerns. And I think today that might just be Susie. So not to put you on the spot, but did you have any concerns or things you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, just a few things. First of all, happy Employee Appreciation Day. We all appreciate all of you. As I've mentioned, it takes a village, so I appreciate everybody's hard work and dedication. I had reached out to Andrew and Sergeant Beltran, our two of our supervisors that oversee the liquid waste division of Marburg. On the Quarantina side, have definitely seen individuals that have their campers there dumping their toilets and things on the street, and it's definitely smelling, and there's a lot of trash and waste and a lot of the parking that's more than overnight. So I just want to make sure that we're doing the power washing every Thursday, I believe is what Andrew said, but we could get that more frequently, as well as making sure that there's a presence. That would be helpful.
Yeah, so I can comment on this really quick, and thank you, Susie, for your message and bringing it, more to our attention. It's a frequent, point of concern, and it ebbs and flows in terms of how bad it can be there. And we know that now we're definitely at a kind of a fuller point. From the code enforcement side, yeah, that is something we will be adding in those power washings again. We usually taper those back in the rainy season just because we let a lot of kind of natural stuff happen in more exposed areas. But I understand that there we have the underpasses. It's not getting that kind of natural cleansing that we would hope for. So we are going to be adding that back, potentially doubling it up so that we can do it more at the after a weekend and then just before the weekend to kind of give it a clean slate on both ends of the work week and then monitor from there. So that's going to be our plan going forward in terms of power washing. I'm going to work with Caltrans as well because they manage a lot of that. We're able to clean the sidewalks there really easily, and we already do that every Thursday. With Caltrans, we can coordinate to get in there and do a deeper cleaning of those kind of back sort of passageways that are there along the highway and some of that area where a lot of that trash is collecting because it's not as easy for our contractor to get behind there. So that's kind of our status there. In regards to the RVs, that's something I usually pass along more to Barbara and Sergeant Beltran as well, just in terms of the new beginnings and the parking enforcement, like I mentioned to you in my email. But yeah, that power washing is likely going to kick off hopefully next week. I just need to give our contractor some heads up about this because it does take a little more coordination. It's a different setup that they have to bring out. And so just in terms of manpower and getting on the schedule, it may be a week or two here until we can really get the routine down and see them out there regularly. But we are going to be kicking that off here as soon as we can.
You're muted, Susie.
Thank you. I'll let our supervisors know. And Sergeant Beltran, hopefully you can also have a presence, or your team, in terms of making sure they're not dumping their toilets into the gutters. Because I mean, all of us, businesses, we're very mindful of stormwater and testing and so forth. So it's quite frustrating to see this ignorance going on.
Yeah, when you reached out yesterday, I went right down there maybe 15 or so minutes later, And I mean, you're definitely right. It does not look good. So I walked it a few blocks and then drove around a little bit. I was able to address some drug stuff that was going on in the area. And then yeah, there's definitely like it didn't look fresh, but there's some evidence of a lot of the illegal dumping. And I think one of them was like leaking transmission fluid or something. So we're looking into that, and then I'm going to coordinate a lot of some of the other stuff that's not necessarily intentional dumping, but like the leaking of like fluids and stuff. I'm going to contact or I'm already contacting our parking and traffic department to see what we can address with that kind of stuff, and then also make sure that we're tagging the vehicles for abandoned because one of the cars actually looked like it had been parked there for it was caked in dust. So, and then I think shortly after I left, there was actually like a vandalism that occurred. I don't know if it was on Marburg, but there was something that happened that was reported. The person got away, but they sent me the pictures and I was already able to identify the person. So we'll be able to address that also. But I thought it was a Marburg employee that reported something, but I could be wrong about that. But one way or another, that's going to get addressed. That person's been identified. So,
Yeah, we're hypersensitive to the
oh yeah.
tagging, so.
Yeah. I think it was a different type of vandalism. It was an unhoused person that I think used a crowbar to I think it was like a dispute of some sort, and then I think they damaged something, some kind of a vehicle or a trailer or something like that in the area.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we'll
Appreciate
deal with it.
the presence, because again, yeah, I think it was the last call that I had mentioned that there was someone living in one of our yards and one of the containers. So we just need, the more we're front and center and, it's, I think it'll, be less likely that they'll, um, set up shop, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So, thank you.
And Susie, I'll ask if the safe parking program can have their staff on the call for our next meeting. I know it's a couple weeks away, but it would probably be good to hear an update just because I know this has been an ongoing issue.
Yeah, we would appreciate that because parking is limited for all of our employees, obviously, and they get here so early. Like, our first crew out is 5:15 in the morning. So, and if they still can't find parking, just because of all the oversized parking, it creates a challenge. So,
Sure. Well, thank you, Susie. Appreciate it.
thank you. I can sign off early if you need me.
Yeah, up to you. Do you want us to do updates about what everyone's doing? Honestly, it is up to you. Otherwise, we can just talk privately about clients.
I'm okay. I
Okay.
appreciate, again, I really do appreciate everybody's work. I know it takes a lot. Or when we do see change, we need to celebrate that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Well, I realize since we are recording this we do occasionally have people who are watching these on YouTube after the fact. So let's just go around briefly to do quick updates. Can we start with Path with Herschel?
Okay, just we don't have an outreach coordinator recruited yet. We're at the point of getting an internal transfer, and unfortunately that fell through the cracks, but we're interviewing more people, so work in progress. But having said that, we have a presence at the Rescue Mission, at Path through Access Point, as well as street outreach through Oscar and our AmeriCorps person. So working with the amazing CityNet team in collaboration with them, also with other AmeriCorps members. So feel confident that at least we have a presence and work is being done in the absence of a full-time person. From the last business walk, it was noted before, very positive experience. We're looking at April again for another neighborhood walk and engaging businesses, etc. The positive experience of the in-person meeting, I can't emphasize enough. It was my first, and I think we look forward to the next. Maybe Landon, you can give some guidance on when that next meeting would be. great meeting in person and connecting and sharing and learning from each other. I mentioned about the rain beds. Full capacity is 22 people. So we had 19 the other night, but full capacity the previous time. So looking forward to next week and hosting our guests. And then you mentioned we spoke about the cleanup day. So that's the update from me. If there's any questions, of course, let's engage with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Herschel. And we're looking at sometime in May for the next in-person meeting. Try and do it every 3 months. Can we go to CityNet?
Yeah, I don't think we have anything too major. We have a couple clients in that general area that I feel like we're making some pretty good progress with. Yesterday we went by, but because of the rain, we really didn't engage with too many people in the Eastside area or see too many people out. We are continuing to do transportation to the warming center and the path weather beds when that's available. So, if anybody else encounters people that are in need of transportation, feel free to reach out to us, because that is something that we're continuing to do. And we are continuing to take out the women's van, and I feel like that's had a lot of success in like the East Beach area. A lot of people have utilized it for like snacks and food and using the microwave to heat up like noodles or things like that. So that's been successful. We'll continue to do that. And yeah, I think that's about it from us.
Thank you, Olivia.
Sorry, Landon. Jonathan, acknowledge you on the call. Maybe you wanted to add something from Pat's perspective. Sorry for, yeah.
Thank you for acknowledging me, but I do not have anything to add.
Glad you're here anyway. It just reminded me too that just so you all know, on warming center days, we're able to keep the Faro Center open a little bit later, so until 5 p.m. on warming center days. So you can just let clients know that that exists if they need somewhere to stay that's dry. Jerry Ann, do you have any updates you want to share from the rescue mission?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Landon. But yeah, overall, we just hired our fourth case manager. So we have like a full team of case managers working out of our courtyard area now. And we have been mostly case managing people who stay in our shelter. Our shelter remains pretty much at capacity. Every few nights we'll have a few beds open, but for the most part, we remain pretty full. But yeah, mostly case managing people in our shelter, but we've also been trying to reach out to people who are hanging out on the street outside, working with the city a little bit more about just keeping the outside sidewalks a little bit cleaner. So in communication with them. There is one person that we know who is sleeping out on the sidewalk, and we've engaged him a lot. It's taken some time, but now he is starting to work with our case management a little bit more. So we're working on that. He's still out there. Yeah, but I think other than that, if anybody ever has questions or anything, I can put my contact info in the chat. I know I don't always get to make these meetings, but I'd be happy to, yeah, answer questions or, yeah, talk to anybody if it'd be helpful.
Thanks, Jerry Ann.
Yeah, thank you.
Andrew.
Thanks, Landon. Yeah, we're Jerry Ann, I know we've only communicated via email at this point, but nice to make your contact. It's that area along Yananali has been something we've given a lot of attention to and just trying to make a bit of an impact there. So we appreciate being in touch with you guys to coordinate. As far as the rest of the East Side goes, always a lot of interesting movement around rainy times for us. A lot of people moving in under the underpasses, which, as Susie mentioned, ends up making those impacts more visible down there. But yeah, aside from that, we're still dealing with a lot of things are more based around the train tracks for us. Some activity around the creeks, Milpas, and some of those main corridors have more just been like, you know, small one-off things, random carts or abandoned belongings and things like that that we've dealt with on a case-by-case basis. So all in all, yeah, we will be coming into the summer season here, hopefully getting out of the rainy season. Looks like it might be a rainy March, but we will start to do a little bit more power washing, which hopefully will give us a fresh start in some areas going into the dry season, and just kind of give a clean slate to the east side. So that's an update from us.
Thank you, Andrew. And Sergeant Beltran.
Yeah, thanks. Nothing too much to really update or report on. Kind of just doing our same pattern. Focusing a lot in the general area down in Cacique and also on Yananali, Quarantina, Cayce, Chavez, and a lot on the tracks. Still focusing a lot on the tracks, especially lately. I mean, Garden and the tracks seem to be a hot spot still. And really, our main challenge, like we talked about earlier with Susie, is the RVs and stuff like that. Just because there's somewhat of a limited area of, things that we can do. So, anyways, just still focusing on those same things. Haven't seen really a change in negatively for certain things. Some things appear a little bit better, but they come and go, especially with the rainy season. So, we'll see.
All right. Well, thank you. Unless there's any other general announcements, I'll go ahead and end the recording so we can just talk about clients by name. Anything anybody wants to share before I do that? All right.